No, this is not a joke, we're actually doing this. But first, one, if you're a Sonic artist, let's get you on an episode. Send a portfolio of Sonic art to adamajakes@gmail.com. Set piece drawings are always paid through PayPal. I reach out a couple weeks in advance, and I can provide samples if you need something to go off of. What if I can't do commissions right now? I'm booked up, I'm busy, I'm pregnant. Send it anyways. I'm slow with episodes, and our timelines might match up in the far future. It's always good to just sit in the list, so send too! I'm going on a trip in the middle of April for my birthday, heading to the land of Japan. And I did ask Sega if I could come say hi, and they said, "What? Who are you?" So if I'm slow on replies or silent at all during that time, apologies. All right. Big the Cat. Now I know what you're thinking. Why play Big's stages on April Fool's Day? Well, it's simple. I hate Big's stages. I love SA1, but when I ask myself, how good is it really? Big is the first thing I see smiling in my mind. Every replay, it's the worst part for me. It's slow, tedious, and painfully dissimilar to the rest of the cast. I'd take 10 Amy stages over one Big stage. I do not enjoy this playstyle. Now, the intention of Big's Fishing is to give the player a break. Between all that high-octane running and gunning exists a peaceful pastime. Here to apply a little nuance to this flagship Dreamcast title, right? What I'm saying is I understand Big's use within this adventure. It's just that none of it works for me. I find the gameplay to be shallow, the mechanics aggravating, the objective rarely uses the stage, and no part of it puts me at ease. Plus, the story is pretty dire for the rest of the cast, so Big's casual fish fest becomes more of an interruption rather than a vacation. I know, I'm being a bit clinical for Yuck Day, but I only say this because I refuse to lie to you, good viewer. By all means, I have a bad Big bias. But let me also say, when I analyze these games, I always go in with good faith. And while the gameplay can pass me by, the levels, well, I can look at some levels. So today, I'm gonna tackle every single Big the Cat stage in SA1, analyze the layouts, and dissect the good from the bad. And here's some more bad. I'm gonna use DX to do it, but a sliver of good, Dreamcast will be there too. And I am playing it. I'm playing it. Doesn't matter where I'm playing it. It's the Dreamcast version, ain't it? What are you complaining about? No fixes, no mods. I'm taking Big all natural. But we must do some housekeeping first. To understand the stages, we must understand the gameplay. So let's speedrun everyone's favorite Sonic the Hedgehog playstyle, fishing. Okay. If there's one thing I respect about this playstyle, above all my complaints, it's that you actually fish in it. No balance bars, no single reels, no convenient little bubble patches. You toss out a bobber in an open 3D ocean, watch it plummet slowly to the floor, physically hook the fish in, and then fight the pressure of the line as you tire the fish out. And slowly, oh so slowly, reel it in. It's not a fishing minigame, it's literally just fishing. And God bless him for it. But I still hate it. And if you hate it too, then here are some quick mega tips to get through it fast. I have a feeling some of you guys didn't know some of this stuff. So listen up. 1. Froggy is always in the same spot. Go find him and post up. 2. When a fish bites, listen up. When a fish bites, press down on the thumbstick. This hooks the fish in so you can reel it. They do not tell you this in the level, but it's in the manual. A thing every kid loves to read before playing a Sonic the Hedgehog video game. 3. What's not in the manual is that you can also cancel a line by pressing both triggers. So you can restart if you throw it in the wrong place, unless you got a fish on the hook. 4. Once you can float, cast above the fish. A little tricky, but the shorter the range, the easier the pool, and the less you need to do the minigame. 5. There are 2 speeds to reeling. Use them back and forth to not break the line, which will kill you, and you'll lose a life. Also, you can move the thumbstick around to bring the fish closer, but I'm sure you already knew that. And 6, if you're gonna go for the emblems, make sure you get the 2 main upgrades found here, and all 4 lure upgrades found here. Now you can catch the biggest fish, which are these guys, in each level, if you want 100%. But if you just want to beat Big and move on, then to summarize, find Froggy, fish on top of him, press down on the thumbstick stick to hook them in, and swap speeds to not break the line. Do that in 4 levels, and you can finally play Supersonic. Yippee! By the way, he's here in all 4 levels. And that's basically Big's gameplay. Back on land, Big can attack with his rod and his cast. That opens item boxes too. You can also pick up items, which you never even need to do in any of the acts. And he jumps too. So that's Big, front to back. Now, how do we shape a stage to these mechanics? Well, SA1 gets it right and wrong. It's 50-50. So let's start with some wrong first and visit the first watering hole, Twinkle Park, or what I like to call Swing Ship Shallows. All right, I gotta calm down. Whew, and get ready to hear my voice go deep again. Twinkle Park is strange because the layout is obvious, but the environment is off-putting. The whole zone gives off this artificial feeling. You know, something you lead up to after some natural locations. But no, first second you're bigging it up, it's casting tackle under a giant mechanical attraction. Definitely some grease leaking into there. Don't drink the water. Since we know fishing, let's talk layout. The swing ship shallows sit within this semicircle, surrounded by concrete, kikis, and grass. You can patrol the rim for rings, but there is no point, as you can beat the level just from standing in your starting position, since no enemies are going to target you here. So what about the pool? Well, it's also incredibly empty. Obviously on purpose, this is level 1, and we don't want anything clogging up the pond, but there is nothing to characterize the water besides the single support in the center, which is why I prefer our original 98 pond better. See, look at that. No hard concrete, all natural grass. The edge of the pool is dark, it looks wet, like we've been climbing out of there, and they even have this colorful interior rim to the pool, which makes it feel like a proper attraction. This is no longer a maintenance area, guests would go over here. They also removed a support, or added one in DX. I have no opinions on this, but I do have opinions on Swing Ship Shallows. As a tutorial for fishing, it's the best. As a fishing level, it's the worst. If I wanted to enjoy the relaxing nature of this playstyle, I would not return to Act 1. The music is too peppy, the challenge is too simple, and I find the actual shallows to be devoid of any personality. You can put this pond in any other stage, and I wouldn't question a thing. It doesn't really have an identity. The swing ship here feels like the smoking gun. Its supports are the focal point of the area, and its movement gives us a fun opportunity. What if it cast a shadow which traveled across the water, back and forth, and under darkness, some fish came out, like maybe some eels hiding in the cracks of the foundation. Fish needed to catch Froggy. It would give your bobber time to descend and take in the space, teach you that it matters where you cast, and shows you how the environment would affect your fishing. There's things to use here. It doesn't need to be just like a big empty bathtub. And FYI, I know what you're thinking. Any fix I give in this video would make fishing go longer, which even I don't want. But I ain't here to turn my back on the playstyle. I want to see it thrive. So we're always going to try to work to make it more interesting. But I will turn my back on Twinkle Park. Swing Ship Shallows, you are the worst fishing level. So let's get to the best. Act 2. Ice Cap, also known as Blizzard Brine. Whoa, 2 guest artists in a row. What could that mean? All right, this is Big's best stage. It's clever, it's fantastical. You use Big's physical movement to traverse the area. It's also huge. The blizzard has 2 vertical halves, and you can take tiny tunnels between each side. There's a surprising amount of platforming with hazards. It's like an actual course. And it's like actually designed for Big. Footholds are spaced out for his size. There are speed shoes littered throughout to help shuffle his big ol' ass faster up those slopes. And you need to understand his weighty momentum to arc to these ledges, which means exploration is incentivized because the rings are attached to a course, rather than out in the open. The rest of the cave is tall and varied with its fishing spots, some filled with rocks and rubble, or ancient stone passageways, or giant prehistoric skeletons. See, this is some water I want to explore, not even for Froggy, just for my own curiosity. And the fishing that happens here can only happen in this setting. You gotta cast down ice holes, which you must open through boulders, or just jumping through them. Hey, he's a big guy, what can you say? But the ice holes force you to start in a confined circle, where to get other fish, you must move out through the use of a thumbstick. Yeah, I know your line can snap sometimes, but you're fishing in a cone. It's a layout challenge that you gotta suss out yourself. No to call tutorials. All she tells you to do is pick up the boulder, which you don't even need to do, which means you're learning everything just from the stage's inherent design. And let's talk look, as I shall yet again hand it to the Dreamcast. You see, DC fits much more with the music. Limestone Cave is an ominous song song. It's got a twinkling melody in there, but there is this uncomfortable mystery that pairs well with the big dino bones in the water, and DC mirrors that mystery by dimming the lights, bringing out the blues. It's one of the rare times we see a stage at a different time of day. Sonic's Ice Cap tackles this same area, but it's in the morning. The director's cut fails to adapt and just keeps it bright and shiny. DX is a winter wonderland, but DC sells that icy interior. I'm a big fan on this one. Get it? Fan. And honest to God, I don't have any fixes here. Blizzard Brine is doing a lot of things I'd suggest for other stages. Froggy's position must be deduced and mechanically opened. You use Big's moves to unlock these spots. The waters have some flair with the prehistoric dino bones. Ice Cap is the blueprint for a better campaign. If they just repeated these mechanics into the rest of the acts, FIX Fishin would feel less like empty oceans and more like stages to solve. But they really should have let you pull down the bridge with your cast. Come on, it was right there. Then you could put Big on the snowboard. Anyways, I'm freezing my ass off. Let's get this purple fur into the Emerald Coast sun. Now we can truly relax because, buddy, I'm living in paradise. Ah, Emerald Coast. Best looking big stage, hands down. Such a delightful setting, and the developers agree, because it's the only level to get its entirely own theme. Big fishes at Emerald Coast. Yeah, bet you didn't think you'd get a music analysis in this jokey joke vid, did ya? Well, we gotta. It's the only big specific song, and boy, is it a vibe. It's like those bouncy guitars from Emerald Coast are taking a snooze break in the sands, stretching on and swaying back and forth, but the drums are not chilling out. They hit the pedals a bunch and even do little fills here and there. Despite the chill, it's definitely still a Sonic the Hedgehog track. When the synth strings come in, so does the sun, and it escapes a lazy big anthem to become just another relaxing track on Emerald Coast. Something more angelic, a melody that has direction as opposed to the swinging guitar that epitomized Big. If the twang is the cat, the strings are the coast. But Big's name comes first, so of course, his guitar comes last. And we wrap things up with that slippery melody going up and down. My favorite tiny bit though, which I wonder if anyone else got. On the guitar's return, they have this one brief twinkle between the theme. Just like a sweet little chime coming from left to right. See, do you hear that? Just a splash of magic that only the cat can capture when fishing on the beach, on the coast, the Emerald Coast. While it is a relaxing song, I do think it's also funny. It's twangy, it's lazy, the name is a pun, and you know it's purposeful as all the other tracks separate themselves with an ellipses in the title. But this song ends with one. Big and the coast are connected in the name. Despite Sonic sprinting around the beach, I do see Emerald Coast as Big's premier fishing spot. During his adventure, this is where he comes to relax. And even better, the stage itself reflects that. Froggy spawns right in front of you and you catch him in like 5 seconds. Why? Emerald Coast has pretty privilege. It's not fair. If this was in the casino, I'd rip it apart. It's as shallow as the swing ship. This is just the Twinkle Park pond shaped into a big tasty donut. No use of the mountain or the lighthouse, no big difference on any shore. Now there is a secret undersea cave, and it's a gorgeous grotto. But Froggy doesn't spawn here, so there's no reason to visit it. Not even for 2,000 gram fish. You can get them outside too. And for once, DC doesn't do much for me either. 1998 is identical. Maybe a tad more sunny, as DX later added in shadows around the lighthouse. But there is one thing both games are nailing, and that's undersea decor. This is the type of stuff I wanted to see in the waters of TP and IC. A bit of flavoring, schools of fish, coral on the floor, and the cave area is really decked to the nines. For once, there's a reason for Big to sink to the bottom. There's a reason for no exit springs. So you can soak in this and only this in only this spot. They don't really decorate things anywhere else in the sand, just the place you don't need to go. Awesome. Any fixes I'd suggest would utilize that mountain. If anything, I'd move the grotto in there and make a little course to get to it. Even better, keep Froggy outside and make some bait we need to catch in the grotto. Easy at first, but can only be completed if you explore. As it stands, the beach is solved in seconds. IMO, Living in Paradise wins on vibes and fails at fishing. Second worst big stage. But now, we finally move on to the second best. It's time we visit Hot Shelter, or what I like to call the Electric Aquarium. Hot Shelter is Big's final act, and it certainly feels like it. Gone are the tranquil waters of the land. We're now stuck fishing in the greasy runoff dripping out of the egg carrier, sorta. I mean, this place is obviously staged for fish. Maybe Eggman is an angler as well, who knows? But the aquarium is doing some big things here. First, there's a combat corridor. It's basic, and you fight the exact same Kikis you always have, but one can be whacked, one can be aimed. And for once, you must unlock Froggy's position by standing on a button out in the open. But still, at least you gotta do something, right? However, then you do what you do every time and fish the same guy, as Froggy will instantly spawn here. The area is tiny, so it's an easy win, which is a damn shame, honestly, because you might not know this, but there is way more to Hot Shelter. You see, the water opens a new submerged corridor where you can float up to another large circular room with a hint monitor proposing a challenge which involves you reeling in a plug from the floor to change the water level again, opening up another corridor to a spring that leads you to the roof. Head to the center here and trick a Kiki into throwing a bomb at the floor, which blows up the glass on the top of the main aquarium, and voila, you're now catching a coelacanth. And the horrible realization that I'm sure you already had is, why would you do any of this? Froggy is in the first room, and it's not like the coelacanth is required for the emblem missions. You can catch a 2,000-gram shark from Froggy's location. And I really do wonder if the devs chickened out at the last second and said, oh god, everyone hates this. Just put Froggy at the front so they can just move on with the level. Let's not complain too much though, because we need to see how hot this shelter was in '98. Yet again, pretty damn similar. The colors all share the same palette, besides some lighting switch-ups here and there. You won't encounter any mood swings in either shelter. They're both still pretty hot. But what is up with the DC skybox? Is that texture like the interior of a real-life space shuttle that they just repeated in darkness? DX at least keeps things connected with the Eggman icon and some fog visualizing the closed space, so you feel like you're still in a ship rather than the human world. Anyways, the electric aquarium, huh? This thing has a great layout that uses all of Big's mechanics, and they moved the finish line to the start. My simplest fix would be just plop Froggy into the final area. Make us work for it. Employ every trick in the book on the final level. So in the end, Hot Shelter is an excellent fishing stage that goes underutilized. Damn you, Eggman. You and your sexy robot maid. Now that is for stages, but before we wrap up, this is a Big the Cat analysis, and I wouldn't forgive myself if we didn't look at it all. Rev up those engines, boys, because it's time to hit the Twinkle Circuit with Bumper Big. So, Twinkle Circuit is a mini game that nearly everyone gets, and it's the same for everyone, which means there's nothing to say here. Except this, when Big takes a ramp, he says, whoa! And I think that's pretty fun, but when I drop him into deep space, he says, whoa! And I think that's kinda sad. However, Big got more than just a single sub-game, you idiot. Did you know that Big also got a boss fight? And it's with an even bigger guy. Chaos 6 is about to get his ass kicked as we tackle the Storm of the Sea. Big the Cat got a boss fight. The fishing guy is about to fight a massive water demon. Water demon, do you hear me? The fishing guy is fighting water. Jesus Christ, we could not be set up for a better slam dunk. Let's get him. And we're done. Only reason I can assume they gave it just one hit point is maybe to fit into Big's low stakes gameplay. Keep even the boss relaxing. I'm losing myself. But the situation certainly doesn't suggest that. Nor the music, nor C6 himself. They typewriter that shit in like Big's about to throw his rod off starboard and just rip Froggy out with his bare hands. Aiming for Froggy with your rod is a novel idea, and they should have set you up for this more with different enemy types in the previous levels. Like, you might not even realize you can do this move, the cast attack, until this moment. I like the shockwaves. We're doing some physical big movement by jump dodging. We can add in even more movement if there were things to toss. Maybe some carrier chunks to give Froggy an opening. It would be a nice little progression after seeing that cast reticle so much. First you were using it for fishing, but now you're using using it for pain. I honestly had fond memories of this fight as a child. I just forgot it takes literally one hit. With a bit more struggle and a big specific movement, this fight could have been very memorable for fans. I wonder if some of you even remembered he had a boss fight, and ain't that just how it goes? Somehow, even the storm of the sea is shallow. But then we save Froggy and the world. Yay! Now where's that robot? I'm gonna rip him in half. With the cart, the chaos, and all 4 stages out of the way, we have completed Big's campaign. But before we wrap up, I want to shuffle over to something I added in the last second, because it meant a lot to me. Let us fix fishing. Alright, I was debating including this section, but I gotta put my money where my mouth is and offer some solutions. So here's some things I would do to fix up Big's fishing mechanic. Authors note, a lot of these fixes gain the benefit of hindsight and most likely couldn't have been implemented at the time anyways. Also, I assume some of these are already mods. Anyways, 1. Varied lures and rods. I know you do get better lures as you progress, but those are straight incremental upgrades. I'm talking rods with different abilities, lures that attract different fish, stuff that you can swap in and out on the fly, kinda like Sega's official fishing game. And then pair it with 2. Fish economy. The weight is on the fish, let's slap a price tag on it and incentivize us to go for more than just Froggy. Sell to merchants in the hubs, maybe they offer different prices based on the region. Use cash to buy upgrades, bait, etc, etc. 3. Fish beyond levels. It's kinda insane they didn't do this, but you should be able to fish in the hub worlds. There's bodies of water in every single one, and I think it would amplify the chill vibe Big is aiming for, because you are now sitting and relaxing in the places we sped past as all the other characters, quite literally manifesting Big's central theme. Slow down, stop and smell the flowers. Maybe add dynamic soundscapes per locale, and even better, a chill music track that fades in once you land that bobber. Music that only Big hears, that you would too, Sonic, if you just took a moment and relaxed a bit. 4. Legendary fish. You sorta already have this in the game, but I'm talking cosmetic diversity. Maybe tougher bites, that sort of thing. Sparkling eels, rusty mecha fish, found only on specific levels under specific circumstances. Shadow of the swing ship, the bones of the blizzard brine, places like that. Maybe hunted with other fish as bait, just to add some progression. And once you get these rare fish, why not place them in the 5 Fish Gallery. The 3D models of each fish are wonderful. They're wild and goofy. Some are even transparent. I don't even think you need more fish variety. There's a big spread in SA1 already. There should be some incentive for grabbing all the other guys in there. And we're already collecting emblems. I don't think we'd mind this. And then have some place to store them. Spin their models around. Maybe watch them kick it in a fish tank. Put it in Station Square or the egg carrier. Give Eggman something to look at besides its sexy robot maid. 6. Inhabited stages. A technical limitation, surely, but there should be people around these fishing holes. Like human people. Kids at Twinkle Park, explorers at Ice Cap, beachgoers at Emerald Coast, and, well, robots in Hot Shelter. And I don't want them just for show either. What if you could chat to the people and learn hints for your fishing objectives, like the monitors on emerald hunts? This would also showcase Big as just like a guy, a civilian. That way you get to witness the world from someone who doesn't really go on adventures. You kind of get that with Amy, but it's a little lost on Big. Plus, who wouldn't want to be friends with a giant purple cat? And finally, 7. Fissions. Get it? A mission mode. For fishin mode, whatever. I think mission mode already works well with its vague hints. Let's continue that. Maybe have like a notice board that asks you to hunt fish for prizes, be it money or upgrades. Catch a shark without entering the Emerald Coast waters. Catch a Hot Shelter anglerfish in 3 minutes. Catch Froggy holding every ring in Twinkle Park. That sort of stuff. Stage specific, fish specific, fissions. Say that 5 times fast. I believe all of these fish fixes work together to achieve one thing, making fishing an actual pastime within Sonic Adventure. Not something with strict levels and objectives, something more open-ended that you can swap to between campaigns. Sort of like the Chow Garden. Of course, we'd still hunt for Froggy, but by removing the strict stage progression, fishing would ultimately become a relaxing activity, because we will see it and feel it as a break. Whew, I had a lot more fishing in me than I thought. Apologies. However, we've been talking gameplay for too long. Let's get back to the adamajakes special and end things with the conclusion. So I'd wrap it up here by asking how Big's stages make you feel, but you know my answer. frustrated. Not at his fishing, though, more at what his fishing could have been. Because when we look at all 4 levels, there are some strengths here. Ice Cap is varied, open, and vertical. You ever think about that? It's not just a flat plane of fishing. You gotta open holes, avoid hazards, explore a tight primordial cavern. It's the one big stage where they trusted the layout so much they didn't add any enemies. This is the only zone with no kikis, because the danger is the traversal, and I love that. But it's bittersweet because it shows me that they know how to incorporate the stage into the mechanic, but instead they opted for straightforward, flat fishing. Even Hot Shelter, an act that later utilizes the layout, gets cold feet and gives you Froggy right away. And because of that, these stages don't hold any memory. You're just left toiling at the mechanic itself. And as a level guy, that stings. I hate a lot of Sonic playstyles, but I want to give them a chance on this channel because even if the gameplay rubs me the wrong way, there are things to praise and learn from a level's inherent design, especially around how it plays with the character's central mechanic. And at the end of this journey, I do think I learned something from the Cat's campaign. Big is more than his fishing. You know I have my fixes, but Big can do more than just swing his huge rod around. He can pick up cars and boulders, jump through ice, dive to the bottom of the sea. He's well-rounded, and that's not me making a joke. If they let us use his physical moveset more in the zone, I don't believe we'd see as much hate towards him as we do today. An optimistic exercise we can all give ourselves is asking how we would redesign these stages to hone in on Big specifically. I'm not asking you to mod a game. I'm not even asking you to tell me your ideas in the comments. You don't gotta do that if it's too much work. I just want you to think on it. Sometimes you'll learn the most from inspecting something bad, and yet there's still some good we can grab from Big. He had more to talk about than I expected. I don't know if my opinions have swayed on Big. When I ponder on the sanctity of SA1, this purple cat is still smiling back at me. However, I will say this. I'm really glad I made this episode. I honestly thought I'd end it laughing at the big guy, but I just kept thinking about him more and more. Maybe because his stages are so small and simple, they're open-ended to let our minds run wild on what could have been. This joke episode ended up becoming an idealistic hope for design implementation, miraculously rooted in recovery rather than indignation. A sentence I only wrote because it sounded cool. So let me end with something honest. I don't like Big's fishing, but he should not put down the rod. I hope we one day see Big return with another open 3D ocean, his frog friend beside him, and a playstyle that touches more than just the waves, casting further towards the shape of the stage and the mood of the adventure. And that is how we'll leave things today. Happy April Fool's Day! I tricked you! It was all a joke. I actually love Big. Now you can't get angry at me anymore. But seriously, I know I'm hard on the big guy, but I always turn around when I listen to you. So please, do share why you love him. Or hate him. What would make his playstyle better? Should it be in Adventure 1 at all? And by the way, did you catch those set piece drawings? Surprise! They were all made by previous guest artists. Every guest artist from 2025 came back to make a drawing for this episode. And we got an incredible newcomer too. Seriously, when I look at these pieces, I just can't believe the talent on display. Massive hats off to everyone who helped out. Thank you so much, guys. The fact that people want to come back at all keeps me hopeful about Ajax, so it means a lot. I'm already getting reports that people watch these videos multiple times, that they have favorite episodes, that they treat it like a show, you know? It gives this series a sense of longevity, and I want collaborators to feel like they put their stamp on an episode that might be collectively remembered in like 15 years' time. The same way we look back at old Sonic and Newgrounds animations. There is a very real internet history for Sonic, and even if we can't scoot into that, I'm happy that we made our own history amongst ourselves. And that goes to everyone typing in the comments too, and even the lurkers, just keeping quiet and enjoying the vids. I was the exact same way, don't worry, you don't need to say anything. I want these episodes to feel like little moments in time that we all took part in. That way, some kid in the far future, who isn't even born yet, can scroll down to these comments and see what we were all saying about a level, and then ideally, carry that torch and continue that conversation. The internet is a wild place, but there's still some magic we can wring out of it. And hey, if you want to make a set piece drawing for this channel, remember to send your Sonic portfolio to adamajakes@gmail.com. I promise that wasn't a big sell. I do mean all that. That's everything that I said. I swear. Even if you've never left a comment, even if you've only seen like 2 of my vids, I don't know why you'd be watching this one. Even if you're busy right now, please do send. I will pluck from my inbox and get in touch when the time is right. And my time is running short, because also remember, I am going to Japan in like 2 weeks. I have been non-stop making videos because of this trip, so I'm excited to just sit down and relax for a whole week. Maybe go fishing too, huh? But before then, Savannah Citadel is up next, and I gotta finish that up in like 2 weeks. So, I gotta get right back to work, right now. But as for you, I must say, thank you so much for watching this foolish little video. Please do like and subscribe, it helps me out dearly, and hit the bell for notifications. YouTube loves to hide my videos from you guys. Those rascals. All right, I gotta work now, seriously. Keep your comments short, I gotta draw a zebra or something. So I'll catch you guys later. Happy April Fool's Day, and peace!